The containment chamber hummed with energy shields stacked 12 layers deep. Through the translucent barriers, Rakor moved like liquid shadow given form, a creature born from the darkest corners of the Andromeda spiral, where even light feared to tread. Its body shifted constantly, chitinous plates emerging and dissolving, too many limbs appearing and vanishing as if reality itself couldn't decide what shape the beast should take. Ilara Voss stood before the observation window, her reflection ghostly against the blue glow of the shields. Around her, the Galactic Containment Council had gathered, representatives from 17 species, each one having failed to control the creature they designated as Threat Level Omega-9. Dr. Voss chittered Ambassador Thexlar, his mantis-like head tilting with what Ilara had learned to recognize as skepticism. 43 specialists have attempted integration with the specimen. 19 are dead. 24 are no longer themselves. Your species has been part of the galactic community for merely 2 cycles. What makes you believe you can succeed where civilizations millions of years older have failed? Ilara didn't turn from the window. Rakor had stopped moving, its form coalescing into something almost solid. 12 feet of muscle and nightmare with eyes that burned like dying stars. It was watching her. Because you've all been trying to control it, she said quietly. I'm going to try understanding it instead. The chamber erupted in protests. The Vexani commander's translator barely kept up with his outrage. The crystalline lumens pulsed angry crimson, but it was the soft, mournful tone of Elder Sif, the telepathic mirth that silenced them all. Child of Earth. The Elder's thoughts pressed gently into Ilara's mind. I have touched the consciousness of that creature. There is nothing there but hunger and rage and endless screaming void. It will devour your mind as it devoured the others. Ilara finally turned, meeting the Elder's 3 luminous eyes. Then it's in pain. Everything that screams is in pain. She moved toward the airlock before anyone could stop her. Her hand hovered over the release mechanism as klaxons began to wail. Behind her, she heard the scramble of security, the shouted commands to stand down. But she also heard something else, Elder Sif's voice speaking only to her. If you survive this, human, you will have taught us all something we forgot. The airlock hissed open. Rakor struck immediately, faster than thought, faster than fear. One moment Ilara was stepping into the chamber. The next she was pinned against the wall, the creature's mass pressing against her, suffocating her. She could feel its heat, smell the ozone and copper of its presence. Those burning eyes were inches from her face. Every instinct screamed at her to fight, to panic, to call for help. Instead, Ilara closed her eyes and did something that would have seemed insane to any observer. She sang. It was a lullaby her grandmother had taught her, passed down through generations of Voss women. Soft, wordless, a melody that spoke of safety and warmth and being held when the world was too large and frightening. Her voice trembled at first, but she pushed through the fear, letting the song fill the space between them. Rakor's grip didn't loosen, but it stopped tightening. The creature went very still. Ilara opened her eyes. This close, she could see past the nightmare exterior to something else. Scars that pulsed with bioluminescence, patterns that looked almost like writing. Battle scars, restraint scars, the marks of 1,000 failed attempts to bend this creature to someone else's will. They hurt you, she whispered, still humming between words. Captured you, studied you, tried to make you into a weapon or a tool or a trophy. No wonder you fight, no wonder you rage. She slowly raised her hand, palm out, not touching but offering. I'm not here to control you. I just want to listen. For a moment that stretched into eternity, nothing happened. Then Rakor's form began to shift. The monstrous aspects melted away, revealing something smaller, almost fragile. A being that looked like it had been stitched together from starlight and sorrow. It pressed one appendage, almost hand-like, against Ilara's palm. The contact sent a shock through her nervous system. Suddenly she was seeing through Rakor's memories, a peaceful world consumed by war, family torn apart. Centuries spent as a specimen passed between collectors and researchers, each one trying to break it, to mold it, to use it. The creature hadn't been born a monster. It had been made into one by the very civilizations that now feared it. Tears streamed down Ilara's face. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Rakor made a sound, not a roar or a scream, but something softer, almost like weeping. Outside the chamber, the council watched in stunned silence as the human and the monster stood together, both trembling, both wounded, both finding something unexpected in each other's presence. Elder Sif's thoughts rippled with awe. Impossible, Thexelar breathed. No, Elder Sif corrected. We made it impossible by forgetting the first principle of consciousness. All beings, no matter how alien, share one fundamental truth. They can suffer, and this human remembered what we forgot. That those who suffer most need compassion, not conquest. When Alara finally emerged from the chamber 3 hours later, Rakor came with her, not restrained, not controlled, but walking beside her with something that looked almost like trust. The creature had shrunk to a more manageable size, its form still shifting but no longer threatening. Ambassador Thexler approached cautiously. What technique did you use? Ilara smiled, exhausted but triumphant. The same one humanity has used to build civilizations, end wars, and heal wounds for thousands of years. I treated Rakor like a person instead of a problem. Rakor's eyes pulsed once, a pattern that Ilara was learning to read as agreement. Your species is very young, Elder Sif observed. Yet you remember what we have forgotten in our age. Perhaps that is your gift to the galaxy. Ilara looked at Rakor, who looked back with eyes that no longer burned with rage, but with something gentler. Understanding. Hope, maybe. We're all monsters to someone, she said quietly. The question is whether we choose to see past the monster to the person underneath. And for the first time in the Galactic Containment Council's 3-million-year history, threat level Omega-9 was reclassified, not as contained, not as controlled, but as understood,